Well, happy Friday, everyone. It's me, Deplorable McAllister, and I'm here with my friend Sarge. And tonight we go into the unknown. And I know my friend Sarge has something on his chest. He's got to get something off his chest. He's got something's bothering him. Hey, Sarge, what's going on? What's bothering you?
I'm just mad that I can't time travel back to the 2015, 2016 and just start kicking some time oriented behinds. Putting foot up all these people's behinds that are not getting it yet. No, they're not with it yet. I just can't take it anymore sometimes because the idiocy is so prevalent at times that I just try to pull myself out of the strap with my bootstraps and come out. How you doing, Linda? I'm sorry. I'm just ranting on.
No, please go on. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, what's bothering you?
I mean, everything that's been happening since Tuesday and Facebook's going down and all this other stuff. And talking to Dr. K, as I call her, Karen, seeing that there's been evidence of other species that are on this planet that's been hidden for so long and it's now coming to the forefront of everything. It's just amazing to me. And I just can't believe that we have been this ignorant. Well, can you believe that we've been this ignorant? The more you find out about what's going on, we didn't know nothing about human trafficking and baby trafficking and adrenaline drinking. We didn't know none of this crap.
No, but when it came out, we started finding out about it. But I think what pisses a lot of people off is people giving away their rights. Now that we know this stuff is happening, and you can look around and see that a lot of people just don't even want to look. They don't even want to learn. As we were talking about earlier, the government is out at this point. Before 2016, the government was completely out of control.
You mean the people in the government?
Yeah, I mean the people in the government, but the government itself, because I am of a mind that we could get rid of pretty much all of it and be left with a few offices, and that would be just fine. We don't need the rest of it.
Right. We get rid of the bad ones in our government. I think that's going to be the first thing that we need to do, and trim it down to, I don't even think we need, but probably about, I'll say 1 million people.
But people have to learn what their rights are. And I know you were talking about that earlier, that it really bothered you that people are such.
I mean, they just volunteer. How is it you can just volunteer yourself? Hey, Linda, I got something that I want you to put into your freaking body, and I haven't tested it, and you're gonna take it. What are you gonna tell me?
Well, I haven't had a vaccine and I don't know how long, since I was a kid. I did take one at CNN, but I got sick from it. And then I was like,
I'm just saying to you, let me come to you and tell you, you got to do this. You got to do this. What are you going to say to me?
Well, when you take the time to find out what it is, that's what I was going to say was, I took that CNN. It was free.
I mean, the flu shot. You took the flu shot. That's what
I think I did take the flu one, but it wasn't any good. It came from CNN, and I got sick, and then I found out that they put in the shot so that you will build up resistance and not get, well, I didn't have the dang virus, so why would I put in there so that I won't get when I didn't have it? So then I was like, I'm not ever getting that done again. So that's the point of it, really, because people just go do what they're told. It's so, oh my God, it's so unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, if Ronald McDonald told you how to, hey, hey, Linda, come here, and let's say, like, you go by a KFC, saying, and things happen where you are basically in this dynamic that you think that you're part of the in crowd and all this other stuff, and someone comes to you and tell you to do something nefariously that's evil, are you going to do it? No. I mean, just like you said, we are losing control of our self-sovereignty. I mean, all we have to do is say no. They can't make you do shit. You know what I'm saying? Besides them putting a gun to my head and say that I'm going to kill you and the rest of your family, I'm not going to be taking anything. You just can't. And that's a form of slavery, you know, to me, to make it to, oh, I'm going to mandate this. I don't date men, first of all. And and second of all, you ain't gonna mandate shit to me. Okay, who are you? You work for me, you asshole. Okay, this is this is our government. You don't tell me what to put in my body. Say no. I mean, that's all you got to do. And if they fire you, I mean, happy sailing, because if they fire you, you got a winnable case, 100%. They can't do that. First of all, the contract that you came into this company with, was it specifically said in that contract that they could override that contract and make you take or any type of drugs to put in your body in order to keep your employment there? Is that in that contract? They can't violate that. So that's one thing you got them on. The second thing you got them on is just human rights itself. You can't force me to be a slave. You cannot force me into doing something against my will. I don't want it. It's my body. Kiss my ass. Have a nice day. That's all you have to say. You don't even have to say it like that. You just say no. That's all you have to do. No.
So this guy, here he is right here. Can you see him? I know. It looks like a reptile, right? It totally looks like a reptilian, Draco, right? This is the guy that like wants us, huh?
He looks like a pedo. That's what he.
Well,
he would go. He would not be near my family, my kids. This guy is the head of the economic forum.
These people think that they have a right to mandate us to. He does not look. This is what I'm talking about. The clone bodies, the reptilian. Look at this guy. He doesn't look. Look at him. Here he is in his space suit.
In his high priest suit.
Oh my God. Oh, and look, these are his friends right here. So this is the person. If I'm suggesting that it's not all the way, it's a hybrid or a clone or something that thinks they're going to tell us that we have to tell us everything. They're going to handle the finances for the planet. They're going to handle our futures, the future of our children. And this arrogance, all of these people, the arrogance is like something I've never seen before. Well, first of all, Mr.
They've been getting away with it for so long. They have that. They built in that arrogance that we are sitting there, oh yeah, duh, he could tell us what we could do. He is self-appointed World Economic Forum leader. We have to, I don't give a damn who he is. You know, I really don't. But we have to pay attention to all these systems that they set up and put these cronies in it, you know, to run our world. I mean, the first thing that must go in America, I think, is corporations must be banned from any type of political campaigns of people in the look at what goes on with Facebook and all these media corporations and all these like corporations that's giving millions and millions to candidates.
Well, Sarge, they've made the country into a corporation. They probably made the planet into a corporation. I know there's a Mars corporation and there's a corporation made out of the moon. So I'm suggesting that that it's a universe of corporations. And but now that we've established and proven that Draco reptilians run the world, don't you have some information from Dr. Karen? Because I'm anxious to talk about this, because apparently, according to Dr. Karen, we have lots more non-terrestrials than we thought originally.
and the main ones is what she was talking about in our last video, and they're called the Eban, Eben, and there's Eban. All right, the Eben, EBEN, is the good guys, I guess, the little small ones, the little small grays. They're very peaceful, but the Ebans are the real tall ones, and they're the AI control. They call their AI central server mother, and they have been the ones that have been basically even controlling the reptiles, because this AI is trying to create a way to take over, I guess, the universe. I don't know. So this AI that's in this system, and is basically, now she's telling me, and there's other people that's around that's confirming this, that they have been all captured. And this guy, Alex Coria, he says that, and he was saying this in September, that there's 4 moves left. That was in September. So now it's what, October? So it's probably like 2 moves left. And he was talking about, we're going to get an early Christmas present. October should be very interesting. And guess what? The beginning of October, the first thing that happens, 75% of the social media program, go down. So that's a sign to me that something is moving in the right direction.
Yes, and I know in our Tuesday video, we talked about this video that was on Blue Water BitChute, and yeah, he had another video that said that it didn't just happen. There were other social media that went down in other places all over the planet, but we didn't, they didn't go down in our country.
Yeah, we wasn't privy to that, because, man, when you look outside of the world, we think we're living pretty poorly. Oh my God, we haven't seen the rest of the world. And just like you said in the other video on Tuesday, we don't even know how big the world is. We really don't. We really don't. We really don't. But back to Dr. K, right? She, Dr. Sala too. If you guys ever heard of Dr. Sala, he's pretty good at this too. He's pretty good at putting everything together, and I was kind of wondering, because he used to run with Corey Good and what's that other guy that Corey Good, the skinny guy,
David Wilcox.
Yeah, David Wilcox. Something is wrong with those guys. I don't know what happened. I don't know. They are still saying like, hey, we're still going to try to reveal the contact, and we're trying to tell people that there are other aliens. We already established that. They still keep rehashing and charging money for shit that they said 10 years ago.
Well, they are controlled, I think. But, here's the thing. I think a lot of these people don't start out being controlled, but because of the knowledge they have, they come into contact with people. And who knows what happens after that? They could be fed something. They could be,
they could be coerced.
You could bump into somebody and stick something in them, or something like that. I don't know what you could do. You could shoot people with some kind of air gun that's got something in it, I guess. I don't know what they could do, but I think a lot of them get somehow compromised, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But back to the Eben, right? They were, what they were concentrating on, and they made a deal. In I guess everybody knows about the deal. You heard about the deal that was made with Eisenhower and the Majestic 12. Right. And the Majestic 12 in a military industrial complex cut a deal to get technology and weapons technology from these beings, and in exchange for them doing experiments on us and kidnapping us, okay, and doing whatever type. They were trying to perfect the transference of consciousness to human hosts.
Yeah.
This will allow them and other species to come here, acquire hosts, and walk among us. That was their whole agenda. They were perfecting the perfect clone host. Also, people like Michael Keaton, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise could have their bodies first hijacked, a clone, and then these species could experiment life on our surface for short periods of time. Dr. K says that the clone, um, one of the most advanced clones can last 20 years. There's some that only last from 3 months to 7 years, but they suffer from, and this is where you start getting into, they need certain fluids to keep their clone bodies going. And what were you going? You was talking about adrenochrome and all that other stuff. You hit it right on the nail, and I don't know how you did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, actually, I'm just quoting what Phil Schneider said, but yeah, that, and his wife came out afterwards and was saying the same thing, talking about the adrenochrome, and Bill Cooper
Right.
talked about it as well. So, and William Tompkins.
So this is what Alex Collier said. Says the Ebons also was working on with the Draconians and others to try and subvert this timeline we were on and return it back to the timeline that they could manipulate and control, but they failed. They all failed. The Alliance actually hijacked their system and went back to the time, because they were going back something like 15, like when they see something going wrong, they would basically go back to another time and do some type of event that will correct what they see that was going to be them losing control. And I guess the Alliance somehow hijacked that, went back before them, captured them all. And now we are basically in the last chapter of this movie, I guess this war that we're in, that we are not seeing. It's so much that's going on. I mean, I did not even know that there's probably over 70 different species that's basically here to help us. And they're giving us help by allowing us to help ourselves, mostly because we have to learn this for ourselves. We just can't have someone just come in and rescue us. We got to participate in it. So the Space Force. Yeah.
We've got to change our reputation from being the dumbasses of the entire universe, where people can just come down here.
Can you imagine someone with higher intelligence coming down and looking at us? They'd just be shaking their head from left to right, saying, "Oh my God, they're not ready. They're not ready." Look, they wearing pussy hats. They're not ready. We just traveled 100,000 miles, 100,000 light years. You know what I'm saying? And we got to come here and they're wearing pussy hats. Oh my God. They want higher taxes.
That's what I'm saying. We got to stop these dumbtards from embarrassing us in front of the entire universe. Jeez.
And guess who? The most evil ones was the ones that they chose to speak to. Only the corrupt ones they were working with. And that's where we went bad. I mean, come on. The most evil, corrupt, warlock of our own species was collaborating with them, and they got their warlock and their evil and slave master type. So yeah, it was all like a cooperation on this planet between some humans that sold humanity out and those that's been working here to just basically make this planet a prison planet. I mean, that's all I see. It's just that simple. It's no rocket scientist. I mean, come on.
Well, it seems like there have been times when these reptilian things were maybe not here, or I don't know, but that'd be an interesting question for Dr. Karen.
Yeah, and she knows all that. She knows all about the timelines and when they got here. And so, yeah, if you want me to set that up, I can talk to her, and I'm pretty sure she's going to be listening to this. So,
well,
Dr. K,
definitely talk.
You come here and talk to Linda,
Dr. Karen, one time and get a list of questions for Dr. Karen, because I'm interested in what everybody has to say about this, that has a piece of the puzzle, because that's what I kind of think it is. We have to go out, and I was talking to Sarge about this. It's slightly off topic, but not really, because we're always talking about the Great Awakening and all this. and ascending. But I think part of ascending is also feeling resonance with people, you know, trusting our inner instincts and activating them again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we now are in a position where we're afraid to talk to people, and it really causes you to sort of study the people that you're with when you're talking to them, and pay attention to things that we used to not pay attention to, you know.
Right.
And it's exercising our ability to sense things, you know. And so anyway, it's interesting that all this stuff is happening, and I like listening to a whole bunch of people talking about it.
What did Q say? Expand your thinking.
Right.
And I'm being told for the last 3 weeks, the military has been under DEFCON 1, and that's the highest military alert. Of course, they're not going to post this level on the internet. So if you must be dumb as a box of gummies if you think that a great military strategy is to broadcast what type of readiness you are in. You know, we used to laugh at the internet levels when I was in the military. Say, look, they said we on DEFCON 3, DEFCON 5. We're not even nowhere near what they were saying. So I think that those sites that put up the DEFCON levels is just misinformation sites. It's not connected to any of the real-time operations that's going on. Because I'm going to let you know, if the lizard faces and stick people win, we will know.
Yeah, well, or
we will be broadcasting this. We will be broadcasting this, probably not broadcasting this.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Or we won't know. We just won't be here anymore.
What happened to Sergeant? What happened to Linda? Well, well,
there'll be nobody here to ask that question, really. Yeah, if they're in charge, we're all going down.
You even asked the question, you going down. What do you mean we're here? Come here, get your little ass over here in this camp. Get over
Well,
there.
that's how we know Biden's not in charge, and how we know that the White Hats are in charge. And then
Biden. Biden, I thought his name was Brandon now.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever that thing is. I always call it that thing.
Did you hear what they've been doing about, there was this NASCAR race, all right, and some guy won. His name was Brandon. And the announcer was interviewing him in the winner's circle. And she was saying, that was a great race, Brandon. You did a great job. You won, blah, blah, blah. And listen at the crowd behind you. They're cheering your name. The crowd was saying, fuck Joe Biden. Excuse me. F Joe Biden. And she said, listen, they're saying, let's go, Brandon. So the Patriots took that, and now Joe Biden is named Brandon. Okay. Oh my God. Some of the funniest memes has been coming out for the past couple of days. This had me on my knees. It's so funny. I love when Patriots just take their stupidity and turn it into humor. You know what I'm saying? So I love it.
Well, it has, I have to say, on the bright side of everything, this has been one of the most fantastic experiences ever. Wouldn't you say, Sarge?
I get to meet the snarky lady and other ladies, other people that's waking up and have been awake for a while. I cannot disagree with that statement at all. You know, we just remember how Melody, hi Melanie, if you're listening. Anyway, you remember how when she heard your voice yesterday, how excited she was for this to meet you?
Yes, and
you have that effect. You have that effect.
Shout out to Melanie that we talked. Sarge shared a conversation with me, and again, you're talking to people who watch your content. And shout out to Melanie. And I had a good time talking to you, Melanie, yesterday. And I'm talking to more and more people and expanding you start out, when you meet people, especially in person, and you don't know them, you're in a store or something, you get in a conversation with them, and you think they're awake, but you're not sure. And so there's always that void. You know, they have been successful in creating a void that we have to cross, because if anybody says anything about Biden, I'm afraid of what I might do, you know. No, I don't want to even come close to any kind of political conversation and all. I did have a lady lower her mask when she was talking to me, and I thought that was really sweet because you know, she was wearing it throughout the entire store, but she did lower it to talk to me. But I think even these Demtards are probably getting sick of wearing a mask by now. They have to be.
Yo, I want to ask you that. What does a mask do? I mean, I keep telling people that. I said a mask is supposed to keep the infected person from infecting others. That's what they say, right? That's what they say. That's why you have a doctor put on a mask when he's operating on a patient, right? So I just want to ask the common sense questions on if you're not sick,
Right.
why do you have to put on a mask if you're not sick? You know, say if you don't have any symptoms, okay, you would know the symptoms. You would have a high fever, cough, or whatever shit that they say that you have. It's like flu-like symptoms. You're not gonna be passing anything on that you don't have. So you assuming that we all have this shit. You
I
know,
know.
it's just crazy. I just the psychological, emotional trauma and training that these people must go through. I feel sad for them.
Sarge, you're triggering me, because this is what I used to say the whole time at the beginning of all of this. I go, okay, you know, the people would be, oh, are you going to wear a mask? And I go, well, I'm not sick. And so then they go, well, it's for the protection of everyone. And so I'm thinking to myself, and I start saying it like this. I'm like, why are we all wearing masks so that sick people can gallivant around town? Shouldn't the sick people be the ones wearing the mask? And shouldn't they even be staying home in bed anyway? Why are we wearing masks so that sick people can be out here? Oh God, it's driving me crazy right now.
I know. We never did it for the flu. We never did it for anything else. I mean, look, this has been going on since March of 2019.
These people don't ask any questions. It's the same thing about it being on the package. It says it won't, well, then why is anybody wearing it? And yet they are. They're still out there wearing it. It shows you the power of the media. That's what it shows you. And also, it's not just the media, though, is it, Sarge? It's like school, you know, church, your parents, television, you know, just all of it, books, children's books.
That's got, all of this shit's got to end, Linda. It's got, just think about that. It's been going on since March 2019. People been having on masks. All right. That's when they first came out with, oh, this is killing everybody in China. Put on a mask. And then Fauci came out and said, no, you don't have to wear a mask. But no, and the next week he said, you got to wear a mask. And then you got to put on 3 masks. And then mask doesn't help anything, but mask can't help. You know, they went from, I mean, this is what we've been through over the last, I don't even know how long that is, but that's a very long time to be telling us how many. I just want to ask people, how many people are actually dying now? Have you heard any of those numbers anymore? Remember, that was every day we would see the death rate. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen any of that lately. What's going on? So it just, I don't even want to talk about it. It's
Yeah, well, let's go back to Dr. Karen and all of these presence, these alien species that we have, and they're inside of the earth, right, Sarge? They're deep, they're real deep.
The Gene Decode, when you have him on the next time, you ask him how many deep military underground bases there are. They were in the thousands, and then they found another layer, because you got to look at it like a layer cake, like the earth, like a layer cake. There is like the lowest levels that's to the core. They're finding cities and domes that's over. I'm thinking when Gene Decode said 50 miles, I heard it's 100 miles now. I'm like, wow. So what they have to do is basically find out where these locations are at, try to rescue the people that's trapped down there as victims. There's victims that they trap and use as slaves and whatever else they're doing down there. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to save these people's lives, and then because the Ebens are very small. I mean, they're not many of them. It only takes one Eben to control a certain area, and another Eben and a reptilian to control certain other area. They're not that in numerous numbers like we think. They're not like hundreds of thousands of them here. There's only a few dozen here, and that's what we've been basically chasing off this planet. I heard that they're all captured now, so that's good news to me. I want to see what happens after this, and they shut down the moon, and they're rescuing other places throughout the solar system, like Ceres and Mars, and other places that we don't have no idea, like off of Jupiter, and all these places has been taken care of, I heard. And that's what had to happen. And then we had to build a defense force to basically protect us from these non-terrestrials, because they were going to come back and try to probably wage war with us to take back control of something that they don't belong to them in the first place. And that's us. We don't belong to no one.
Yeah,
How are you going to come to a planet and say, okay, now you belong to us? Come on, give me a break.
they've been here for a really, really, really long time.
Yeah, but now they're getting blazing with it. Okay, yeah, well, Earth is ours, and you don't have anything to say about it. Shut up, you puny humans.
I mean, it is going to be a lot of these people are going to have a hard time waking up to this, because they've made themselves so oblivious to it, and they're just not going to believe it. And didn't Q say that?
Yeah, he did say it. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she just saw this video where this Chinese makeup artist was on YouTube, and she was putting on makeup artists to make her look like anybody. She did Johnny Depp, she did other people, even did one to look like Barack Obama, I think. Big Mike, she didn't do him. It's too hard to do Big Mike.
Yeah.
But my friend asked me, she said, what if they all are this like little Chinese people behind the mask? Like, what if Joe Biden?
Oh, that would be funny.
He's Chinese.
Well, they've got ways to put those. I was making jokes about Don Lemon in my rant, but actually, if maybe it is like a mask, really. Maybe it is, because he says some pretty ridiculous things, Don Lemon.
I think he's just plain stupid, and he's just a puppet. But yeah, you're right. He could be a mask. They're doing it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I did a video, and people had the nerve to argue with me about a simple thing like this. Joe Biden got inaugurated 17 minutes before the specific time that he's supposed to have been inaugurated. So I was making a case that if the law says that you're supposed to assume the office of the president at a certain time on a certain day, okay, and you don't do it, you're not president. So I was trying to make this very simple for people, and I'm going to do it here too. Okay. Joe Biden was sworn in on January 20th, 2021, 17 minutes. Listen to that, 17 minutes before 12 noon. So what type of lawful ramifications would happen? I started thinking about that. If you sign in before the contract is to begin, that contract never exists. It's null and void. Joe Biden would have to be sworn in after 12 p.m. in order for his president to be legitimately and lawful.
And we're dealing with a corporation as well.
Right. So just those little, I think they were sending us a message then that Joe Biden is not the president. 17 minutes before 12. 17 is the letter Q. Okay. 17. That's what we all know here in the Anons and the truthers. We know what 17 means. Okay. Yeah. It means Q. So they sworn he was sworn in 17 minutes. So the White House was in control even then. So well, Joe Biden was sworn in 17 minutes because they knew that if he's not sworn in after 12, he's not president. So you got these constitutional experts. Oh, Joe Biden. They even did like the Seattle Times and the Washington Compost. They put out. Why would they even put out stories about this? They made stories about it, saying that even though Joe Biden was signed in way before the 12 noon deadline, he's still president. Why would they even say that? Well, so anything that they put out there, you take the opposite of, he's not president. So I hope that clears a lot of things up. It's just something.
Also, there's so much more than that. All of his executive orders were blank. They were blank sheets of paper.
And I want to know how many of these executive orders have even been followed. I mean, even been put into action.
Well, they were all blank. They didn't even. And also, what about the executive orders that President Trump put in to effect? They haven't gotten rid of any of those yet. So
matter of fact, some of them have been re-upped.
Exactly. So that, and also the White House, there was a White House, it was a set. There was like a big parking lot out in front of the, well, we went back to Castle Rock, the company. And then also Joe Biden's hand is going through the microphone suspiciously. He had that weird, union address, where it was like it was in a parking lot, and there were these, it was so weird. His whole inauguration was just very, very strange. So yeah, there's been so many things, and we're not in jail. That's another thing.
I'm not in jail. You're not in jail. You're right. And we're allowed to speak freely about this fake election. If they were in charge, we wouldn't be able to speak Joe Biden's name without getting locked up.
And I'm sure there's tons of other clues that have been sent to us, but we're probably too stupid to pick them up.
I know. I just want to you just got to, everything, we tend to only live in the moment. We don't see how we got to this moment. You got everything has been done. I mean, over the past year, everything has been out of whack. You go to Washington, D.C. I wish Snarky could, I should pay you a trip to go to Washington, D.C. so you could see the difference, for when you was living there and growing there. Well, it's totally a ghost town. It's totally not like what you was when you were raised there. I bet you'll see all the difference. Traffic is like light in the morning. You can just basically go anywhere. You never had that in Washington, D.C. during rush hour. There would be traffic everywhere,
Oh God, it was awful. There were a car limit. You could only, you couldn't, you had to have so many passengers in a car to ride on certain roads and stuff.
And I had this idiot talking about, hey, you guys are crazy. You guys don't know what you're talking about. I've been to Washington. Yeah, when did you go there? Back in the 60s? Because if you've been there lately, you would see that nothing is as it seems. Nothing is going on. I want you to catch a picture of you and Joe Biden when he's entering the White House. Do that for me, or shut the hell up, because you don't know what you're talking about. I got people that live there, okay, that's telling me that Washington is like a ghost town. But you're going to tell me, you don't know what you're talking about. Come on. There was a fence around Washington for how long, Linda? For almost a year, right?
Well, remember when the Biden administration had smoke coming up all over Washington, D.C. during the Biden administration when it started, that Washington, D.C. was covered in smoke. And also that big scaffolding that nobody ever explained that's in front of the White House. And they're
you showed a video, and you showed a video with little children coming out of the White House. I mean,
yeah, they're ushering kids out of the White House
in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the freaking night. And there's ambulances or white trucks, I should say, parked all in these scaffolding areas. So it's full of white trucks that look like medical vans. And there's just so many things. And remember, I heard that the Chinese, the Chinese communist military came through the tunnels.
Yep. And that's
in DC, and that's what caused the smoke. They were actually having a war under there.
That's right. That's right. And that's when Wolf actually told me about the new weapons that they got, how they can put armies basically to sleep for hours with these sonic weapons that they got. And that's how they really defeated the Chinese in those tunnels, you know. Wow. So we got here and we tend to forget what's going on. Nothing's happening. But when you put everything together, when you look at it from a bird's eye view and you see everything that's happened up to this point, something really big is going on. And we are not on the front lines, but we can see the residual effects of what's going on in society, you know. And I'm going to tell you, I'm in a good mood, man. And I'm going to tell you that the military do not run on your dumbass emotions. The military is here to protect you, not to coddle you, not to rub your back, not to speak loving thoughts to you. The military is to do one thing: kill the enemy.